Hello, 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 hello. I hope, I hope, I hope that you are doing really, really well today. I have a bit of a special video for you today. Because it's the first video where I'm doing some soft speaking instead of just whispering. Some of my favorite ASMR is when I'm sorry, I was trying to play in the background as well while I ramble a bit about soft speaking, but I have a tricky situation here. Let's take a quick look here and see if we can find an easier place to work on. Okay. Just one there and one here or here. So this one is good, and those three are good as well. And those are good. Okay. Some of my favorite ASMR is a mix of soft speaking like this, and when people switch into whispers instead, into whispers, so you get a really nice mix of some nice and soft whispers and some soft speaking, which is a bit more bassy. So I've always wanted to try soft speaking and see how it worked out. And you all seem to love Minesweeper, which is great for me because I love playing Minesweeper as well. So I figured I'd mix the two together. But what I've also tried is switching from my usual binaural mode into just a kind of normal front-facing mode. I use a Blue Yeti to record my videos with, which I really love. I think it sounds really good, and it has some modes with it as well. So you can switch between ear to ear. So I could sound like I'm in your left ear, and then sound like I'm in your right ear. But when I was kind of testing it out, it was kind of strange, a bit odd with soft speaking. I'm not sure, it kind of felt a little bit too intense, but let me know what you think. If you'd like to see some soft speaking with the binaural mode turned on, I'm happy to try that out for you. So I just have the front facing mode on, which means that I will sound the same in your left ear and your right ear, and so it will sound like I'm right in front of you. So yeah, sorry for the rambling on that. I just wanted to explain what today was going to look like for you. So why don't we switch onto some more focus on the game. I've started up an expert mode of Minesweeper, and we've got a little ways in. It's looking a bit tricky so far. Lots of high numbers and awkward positions as well. I'm going to kind of semi-explain some of the things I'm doing. I think based on the comments, I think that most of you like it when I kind of explain some of the moves, so we get a mix of some relaxing rambling, as well as a little bit of education. So, just to, I guess, answer some common questions. First of all, the version of Minesweeper I'm using is one that I got on the Microsoft Store. I did take a quick look, and I'm not sure if it's available on any other kind of platform. So I'm not too sure if you're on Mac or Linux or something, whether you can still get this. But I'll leave the details in the description. This one is called Minesweep. By I think Cole.S. Let me check. Yeah, Minesweep by Cole.S. I really like this one because it's pretty simple and straightforward, and it's kind of exactly what you'd expect from Minesweeper. I think that it could be fun to try out some of the other versions of Minesweeper that are out there. But when I was looking for just like a normal version to play, I found a bunch with extra features and things like some of them had like counters on the rows and columns that told you how many mines were left in that row or in that column. Like one of those Picross games, which I think could be fun, but it's not what I was looking for, so I skipped through those. And there were also a bunch of like themed ones, like a jungle theme, I think, and I don't know, like a pirate theme. I skipped through those pretty quickly at the time, but I think they might be fun to try out as well. But after looking through the Windows Store and online for a while, I found this one that was nice and straightforward, and it didn't have too much going on, which is perfect. It's exactly what I wanted. So, Minesweep by Cole.S on the Microsoft Store. I'll leave the details in the description for you. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Next up, I've had a couple of questions, I think, or just a couple of comments saying that you didn't know you could do this. But I'm pretty sure. Don't quote me on this. But I'm pretty sure in most versions of Minesweeper, if you have all of the mines flagged around the square, around one of these numbers, then you can just click the number, and it will reveal all of the other squares that are not flagged. Let me see if I can get one set up for you here. I'm in another awkward situation where there's nowhere that's super easy that I can spot. Let's see. We have a couple of 2s here and a 1. So in this kind of situation, I know that there is a mine here, and this one is good to go. Perfect. I can't flag either one of these because it could be one of those 2. But I know that because it's here or here, these 3 are good, and those 3 are as well. Perfect. So, it's not going to be super exciting, but we'll do it just here. I can mark those 2 off because of these 1s in the corner. And now this 2 has 2 mines flagged next to it. And I can click the 2 and it's going to reveal this square. Perfect. This one is going to be much more exciting. So it's the same kind of deal. I have a 2 here that I can see, and I know for a fact that there are mines here and here. So I could, if I wanted to, click all of these squares individually, but I can click on the 2. It might need to be a double click in some modes, I'm not sure, but I can click on this 2 and it will reveal automatically all of those. So just saves me a bit of time. Let me clear up some of these other easy corners in exactly the same way. So we've got one there. That's good now. And 1, 2. There's going to be one here, and I can click that. Perfect. Another comment that I've seen a couple times is about using these question marks. So if I right click on a square once, I get a flag, and if I right click again, I get a question mark. And I've seen a couple comments that mention that you don't use those, and you just kind of fly by on vibes alone, which I totally get. To be honest, I don't find them super useful. Mainly because if I'm not sure about where a mine might be, I will probably just move on to a different section where I can be sure, because it's not worth guessing most of the time, and otherwise you would end up with lines full of question marks. For example, there's a 2 here, so that could be a mine, or that could be a mine. There's a 3 here, so that could also be a mine. This 2, that could be a mine. That one could be a mine. That one too. So, I guess if you worked through that way, you'd end up with these big lines of question marks that are not useful, really, to anyone. I think maybe I mentioned it in one of the other Minesweeper videos, where I think it would be like an extra an extra feature, so not like vanilla Minesweeper, not like vanilla Minesweeper. And also just on that point, I think I'm constantly kind of wary that I might say Minecraft without meaning to, so I'm sorry if I've done that. I mean Minesweeper. But yeah, a nice feature that wouldn't be like vanilla would be if you could color code those as well. You'd just get up to like super detailed levels of marking things off. But I think it would be useful because if I'm looking at this corner, for example, this 2, there could be one there or one there. And if I'm looking at this 3, it could be here in this corner or just there. But what I would quite like to see at a glance is that these 2 down here are related to this 3, and these 2 up here are related to this 2. That could be useful. Otherwise, I guess I just kind of mark the question marks off as I'm talking through to you guys. It makes it a bit easier for me to explain things. But that is enough about question marks. Let's look up here. So this could be a good point as well to bring up another comment, which is kind of a tricky one to talk through, I think, because it quite a few of you have said that the sort of logic of Minesweeper just goes over your head, which is fair. It's a fair point. Not everyone's brains are kind of wired to do logic in this way. Some people, of course, are more creative or more like linguistic or something like that. So I think it would take a lot longer, maybe like a whole video going from the very ground up to explain it all properly. But the basis of Minesweeper is that it's a logic game, where you kind of run through these sort of logic statements, like if there is a mine here, then there is not a mine here, something like that. So you might not believe it, but it's not random. It's not entirely random. There have been a couple of cases in my other videos where I've come across situations that boil down to like a 50-50, and that happens sometimes, and that sucks. But the vast majority of Minesweeper you can run through using some logic to be 100% sure where mines are and where mines are not. So, just to run through again the kind of logic to use. If we look at this 2 here, we already know where one mine is, just from our past moves. And there are 2 squares left that we have not uncovered that are next to this 2. We are looking for just one more mine. The 2 itself means that there are 2 mines in the surrounding 8 squares. So one of these 2 here is a mine. So that in itself is not super useful. We have boiled it down to a 50-50 at this point. If we clicked one of these, it would be like flipping a coin, whether we lose or not. So not super helpful. But if we look at the square above it, we have a 1. And there are some overlaps in the squares that surround this one and the squares that surround this two. Specifically, these two that we have already marked off overlap. This one means that there is one mine in these squares around it, and we have already figured out that it's one of these two. So that means that it could be here, or it could be here, and that's because of this 2 down there. So here, or here, here, or here. In either case, while we still don't know which one it is, what we do know is that because we have pinpointed the mine to one of those 2, any other square around that one is good to go. So this square up here, which is touching the ones next to the one, we know for sure there isn't a mine here. Kind of alternatively, just to kind of convince you even more, if I said there was a mine here, then these 2 squares here, I'm not going to click them. Because I know there's a mine there, but these 2 would be safe. There wouldn't be a mine. And now we do not have 2 mines around this 2. So that's not going to work. This might be taking the ramble a bit too far, so tell me to stop talking if you want. But in maths, there is like a principle of proof, where if you start out with an assumption, in this case the assumption is that there is a mine up here. If we start out with an assumption, and by working through in these kind of logical steps we get to a situation that is impossible, then you can work your way back and say for sure that the assumption isn't correct. In this case, the opposite, the only other possibility that is there is that there is no mine. So there's kind of two ways there that we've proven that there isn't a mine right there. So I can click it. So that was quite in depth. I hope at least just the rambling is nice and relaxing, even if it's not helpful. What we have come up against though is a very helpful situation where we have a 1 in a corner. So there's only 1 square left, and where we previously had one of 2 squares next to this 2 that could have had a mine, we have found out where the mine is, and it's here. So this other square is good. Yeah, let's carry on. So we have that one there because of the 3, and I can click to clear a couple here. This 2 is good. There's 1 there, and this 2 is good. 1 there, and I can clear some there. That 2 is good. Perfect. We have a 4 tucked away in a corner there. There's not many squares left anyway next to this 4, and in fact both of them have mines in them, so we can carry on like this. A 3 and a 2. Clear that 1 there, and there's 1 there because of this 3. I have a 2, a 5, one of the higher numbers that we can see here. We have to mark all of those as mines. I'll do a 2 because of that corner, and good to go on these. Perfect. Wow, a 6. That's rare. We have a bunch of ones in a line here, which are awkward to work with sometimes. The most helpful one is this right at the top, because we can, using kind of the same logic as when we were over here, we can say that we know there is a mine in one of these two squares. It's the only squares next to the one up here. And so because of the overlap between the one up here and the one just below it, we know that there isn't a mine down in this third square. So I can click that. I can click that one. A 3 though isn't too helpful. I love seeing a 1 when I do something like that, because we've seen it a couple times. You end up with these extra rows you can click and clear off nice and easily. This 3, we have actually marked off all of the mines, so I can click that, and the 1 is attached. So we've got that there. A couple of fours here. This 4 is good. 1, 2, 3, 4. This 4 we've got 1, 2, 3, and it's one of these two. It's one of these two. Sometimes I kind of find myself caught up in these areas where you can do some kind of fancy, fun logic to figure out where the mines might be, and I completely ignore the fact that we have a really easy section just up here. For example, that one is a mine there, so we can clear off a couple here. Perfect. And finish off that 3, and there's 3. Great, great. A 1 there. That 2 is good, and 1 in the corner because of the 3, and that 3 is good. Great, great, great. Okay, so this is kind of it sounds really lame. I was gonna say it's kind of fun up here, but it's like an interesting situation in this section. Let's look up here at these 2s. So it's one of those 2, because of this one down here, and this one up here means it's one of these 2. We have a line of question marks, which is not helpful at all. Let's clear those and we'll try something else. This 2 here is essentially next to a 1. If you imagine this as a 1, because we already know where one of the mines is, then we have a 1 and a 2 next to each other on a flat line. So we can say that there is one here or here. Not both though, definitely not both. If we had one in both of these, then this 2 would have 3 mines next to it, so it's one of these 2. We still need to find one more mine for this 2, and the only other square that is free is this one, so it's in one of these 2, and there's one definitely here. That means that we can actually click through on these ones, which is great for us. We have a 2 there. Perfect. Let's see, it's in one of these 2, so it's definitely not here. Great, great. And we have one of those beautiful ones where we can say that because of this 1 up here, there is a mine either there or there, and in either case we have found the mine that is next to this 1, so all of the other squares next to it are safe. Great. And now we have a 1 here. There's only 1 square left. Perfect. We found that mine. Okay, so I've been rambling quite a bit and working our way around this expert game, and we are 75% pretty much of the way through. That's pretty good going. If there's one thing that I'm proud of myself for, it's that I have been rambling and have not made any mistakes. So let's double check here. This 3 is actually good to go. We have 1, 2, 3 mines next to it, so this is not a mine here. And now we have a couple of corners that we can mark off. Great, great. As we're working our way through this section down here in the bottom left, I'm actually a little bit concerned that I haven't made some more progress on this section in the bottom right. Mainly because if we end up with a 50-50, for example, in the bottom right, if we're in a situation where we don't have any more information to get, then I want to get there as soon as possible, so I don't waste my time. If I finish off this square in the bottom left, this nice big square, and then take a look at the bottom right and get to the 50-50, well, all that work could be wasted, because I might just lose on a coin flip, which sucks, but it happens sometimes. So why don't we shift our attention down here to see if we can get some more progress. So we have a 3 here. We know that there is one more mine either here or here, and in either case we have now got 1 and then 2. Because it's one of these, we have 2 mines next to this 2, and so the last square is safe. Perfect. That one is pretty good to see, I think, because this 2 means there is a mine here, here, or here, and so the remaining 3 next to this 1 are safe. Wow, perfect. Perfect. A nice big area revealed. This 3, there's a mine here or here. That means that we found the mine next to this 1, and this last square is safe. So there is in fact a mine there, and that is safe. Great, great. A corner down there. Perfect. 1 and a 3, a 1, another corner. That's good to go. And 1 there. 2, 1 there for the 4. That 2 is good now. And that 3 is, and a 5. Great, great. So we have made sure that we don't end up with a last minute 50-50 in the bottom right. I get enough of those 50-50s with all the gacha games I play, so if I can avoid them in Minesweeper, I definitely want to do that. Okay, let's take a look in the left hand corner then. 1 there or there, a 3, a 2, 1 there or there. So there's 1 here or here because of this 2, and then we found them all next to this 2, and this 1 is safe. Great. That 1, that 1. All of the, we're looking for 2 mines next to this 3. We only know where 1 is at the moment. There are, of the 1, 2, 3, 4 squares left around this 3. 3 of them overlap with the 1. So we know that there could be a mine in only one of these 3 squares. For example, we can't have a mine there or there. That wouldn't work because of the 1. So we have 1 mine in these 3 squares, and there's only 1 square left, so we know that there is definitely a mine down there. there's one mine down there, and it's in one of these 3 squares. Does that make sense? And then what that means is that it's not in these 3 because we've already limited the squares that the mine could be in next to this one. We've already decided that there is a mine in one of these 3. So these 3 are good. Clear those off there. Although we've had a couple of other situations where we've uncovered these extra ones next to a 1 down here, and we've been able to clear off the next row as well. We can't do that here because we could find that the mine is down here. In that case, there is definitely a mine in one of these 3. So we can't get any more from that section right now. But we have found all of these 4 mines, and that one is good. And after that short explanation, we are now in a situation where we can say there is a mine here or here, and so these 3 are safe. Boom. Opened up a nice big section there. Let's take a look here. 3, 1, 2, 1 here or here. I'm just going to move over here. We might be able to get some more information from this section, but I'm just going to move somewhere that's a bit easier for me. Okay, so we have a 2 in between 2 1s. This one's pretty nice to see because we get a situation where it has to be like this. There are 2 mines next to this 2, and it can't be in the middle because if it is, then we don't have room to put another one down. Whichever square we pick, we're going to be making it so that a 1 has 2 mines next to it, which can't happen. So we know for sure this middle square is safe, and so the remaining 2 squares are where the mines are. Perfect. Perfect and perfect. I can clear off some of these ones that are touching. Down there, and 1 down there. That one's good, and another corner just there. So that one is good, and there's a mine here. So we could have spent a couple more minutes looking through these 3s and the 1s over here to see if we could figure out some more information about where the mine could be. But just by moving on to a different section, we have pretty quickly made our way back round, and we know for sure without any risk, which is good. It's good for us. So we can clear up there, and there's 1, 2. Perfect. 1 here in the corner, so we know it's there. 1, 2, 1, 2. So that is good. 1 there. And 1 there. So that's good. And these 2 are both mines. So we have a small square here and 5 mines left. I think our chances are good, but I've been caught out at the last step before. So we have one of those 2s in between 2 1s here, so we can mark off something like that and click on through, which is perfect, exactly what we wanted to see. And there's 1 here. 2 mines left. Fingers crossed. That 3 is good. And this 2 is as well. This 3 is also good. There's a mine here. And this 2 is also covered, so we know for sure the final mine is down here, and this square is safe. Let's go, let's go, let's go. So that's the second expert game that I've managed to finish in a video. We did take quite a bit longer. quite a bit longer in this one than the last one, but I spent some extra time just talking through again some of the steps in case you're interested. So I'm hoping to bump up this pretty sad looking 25% win rate soon when we get some more expert games under our belt. I think for now though, shall we jump down to an easier difficulty just to finish off for today? So let's see. The easies are pretty quick. I think my last video I ended off doing like 10 easy ones really quickly, which is fun, but it's not quite as relaxing, I think. So let's go for a hard one, and we'll just try and get through this one pretty quickly. I'll just click through without explaining too much about what I'm doing, in case you're tired of hearing the explanations. But I'm just going to start off marking off all of the corners, and by that I mean these kind of corners in the line of numbers we have are easy ones to they're easy ones to know that there is definitely a mine, because we have a 1 here and only 1 square left uncovered, so definitely a mine there. We can quickly mark off all of the corners. And then we have a string just up here that we should be able to clear off pretty easily by marking the obvious mines here. So we have a 2, 3's in a line, 3's on a row like this mean that of course all of these are mines. There's only 3 left uncovered. Okay, let's move on over here. We have a 2, 3 there, a 2 here, so we can mark that off. We'll go for the corner, which is nice and easy. And another corner there. That 3 is good, and that 2 is good, and that 1 is as well. Definitely 1 there. 3 on a line here is easy to work with because we can mark off all of those as a mine, and these 2's next to it are now good to go. A 4. A couple of 1's here that are nice and easy to mark off. That 2 in the corner is also nice to see. We can quickly mark off those only 2 remaining ones as having a mine in there. Mark that off. Perfect. Not too much left to go now on this one. We have a corner there. And only 1 remaining square, so that has to be a mine. A 2 there in the corner, kind of technically, so we can put a mine there. And now that is good to go. 1 there. Let's see. 2 up here in this corner is nice to see. We can quickly mark off the only 2 squares touching it as having a mine in there. We're looking for 3 more. There's 1 there, and 1 here. And 1 down here. Perfect, and we get a nice loud horn there for getting a new record. Let's do another one. Just another hard mode one. So, as usual, marking off all these corners. Nice and easy to work with there. And then we can clear off some of these attached squares. So 1 there. Clear some of these. There's a 3, and we're good to go. A 3, so 1 here or here. A 2, 1 here or here. So that's good, and these are also good to go, but not much to go on there. Although there's 1 here or here because of this 1, so actually these 4 around the corner are good. And let's see. a 1, great. And one there, but on both. Let's just look up here. I spent a bit of time there just working through some of the situations, but I didn't need to because there were some easier sections nearby that I could look at. There's one there, a 2, so there's one here, here or here, so this is good, perfect, that's what we love to see. That 3's good, and one there, great. We can get some more corners just here. Let's clear off up around this section here. A 3, 2, 1, 2. Another corner. This looks worrying. Let's take a quick look. This might be a 50-50. Yeah, this doesn't look good up here. We're gonna have a situation where there's either mines like that or like that. There's no other possibilities here. There couldn't just be one mine up here. We wouldn't be able to put it in the right place for it to get all of these numbers correct. So I'm pretty sure we have a 50-50 on all 4 of these squares. There's 2 mines in these 4 squares and we don't know where they are. So we're gonna have to click one and hope for the best. What do we think? 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm gonna click this one, I think. Oh, okay. We got lucky there. We got pretty lucky. We won the 50-50, which is nice, but it did slow us down. That's okay though. Now hopefully we can just finish off without making any mistakes and we won't have wasted our good luck. So one there can clear off, a 2. And one just here, and this 3 is good. 1, 2, good to go. A load of 2s and 3s down here, which is funny to see. Clear off that. A 2, a 2, a 2. All the 2s and 3s have kind of made my eyes go funny when I'm staring at them. So I'm double checking to make sure I don't make a mistake here. We can move down here though and clear that instead. And yeah, there is going to be one here. And now this 3 is 1, 2, 3, good. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, so this 4 is good. So there's some mines here. That 3 is good, and this 1 is okay. A 2, 1, 2. Great. Oh, perfect. We should have found all our mines. Let's check. Great. Phew. Panicked a bit just there, but it was a pretty slow one compared to some of the other ones. The 50-50 ritual slowed us down a bit there. But I think that's a good place to leave it for today. I really, really hope that you enjoyed this one and that you enjoyed the soft speaking as something a bit different. I'm always happy to see suggestions or to get any tips to make things as relaxing and tingly as possible for you. But I hope that you enjoyed this video, found it relaxing, maybe even a bit educational with all the rambling. Thank you, 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 thank you again. And good night, 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 good night.